a topic that I've been thinking about for a while has been, how do you handle the increase of information when you're in programs and courses and you're learning stuff and you're also trying to deal with your own business? How do you still be productive when you're trying to learn on the sidelines at the same time? So let's see. My experience, because I'm in it to win it right now, because I'm in programs and all the things while I'm doing all other stuff, it kind of just fits itself in because you know that it's necessary and you make it a priority. Also, when you're investing in a course or a program, it's like, it's the energetic of it, like you're in something, you're supporting yourself in a new way. It creates this like vortex, and it's like, it doesn't matter that you're not keeping up with every single thing that's happening. It's just important that you're aware that you're inside of something, because that gives a different caliber of your awareness, a different caliber of your movement, because you're like, oh, I'm in this thing and other people are in this thing and we're working together. Like, just knowing that, hello Hillary, just knowing that other people are inside this container with you, that pulls you through. So we don't need to get overly consumed with like, I can't keep up, or I'm not able to finish all of the things, or I can't watch every video. It's like, you're not failing because haven't been able to keep up with everything. You're doing fantastic by even just being in there. And I'm in like, my coach, I'm in like, I don't know, like 8 of her programs, because I have the pass thing, and in a different membership, and I'm in another thing. And so there's like, I don't even know how many videos, how many live streams, there's just like so much. But because there's so much, it's just kind of like whatever comes up and I feel like I connect to, then that's what I need to consume in the moment. And we don't need to be so worried about that, because one of the reasons why people don't like invest or like try to do things outside of their business, and they just develop this tunnel vision, is because like, me learning other things is going to take away from my focus. But really what it does, it opens up another part of your brain and your mind, so that you actually have more space, because you've committed to something for your growth. So by you tangibly doing that, by paying the thing or whatever, you're actually also opening up yourself energetically, so you have more space. And you learn how to like multitask and learn and grow at the same time, and the integration becomes like amazing, because you just learn this thing, and because you know that's important, you actually start to implement it like instantly. It just becomes like, I learned this thing, now I'm doing this thing. I learned this thing. It just becomes this natural rhythm that happens when you learn something. And it's like, we're learning how to become more intelligent with concepts so that we can apply them. So what happens is, you get the thing, it kind of twists and turns, you have your own spin, you get the eureka moment, and then you swivel over here and then you implement it. So if you were at the beginning of your business, if you're in the beginning of your business, it's just like, I have 8,000 things I need to do and my Trello board isn't done, and you're just like, ah! You're just like, I don't know where to move from here. And it's actually like, it's brilliant. It's a magical time at the beginning, because you're making the foundation of everything. So it's okay. It's okay that it's craziness, because when things become like chaotic and you're like, wah, 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 if you're all over the place, that means there's actual like new connections, because you've lifted at, like, just imagine energetically you're like unrooting from the place that you were before. You're kind of like hovering over the place, that reality, and you're like shifting into a different place. And that's why everything is confusing, because you're not attached root wise. You're just like, I'm not connected to anything. So you're like taking up your roots, putting it down and everything else. So of course everything's going to be chaotic and not make any sense. So as you start to develop and make actual decisions becomes like the key component to everything making sense, because you're like, oh, I can't make that decision because it might not work out this way. Just like make the decision so that you can actually root somewhere, and then everything just starts to make sense. You just have to make that decision. So once you make that decision and you're rooted in a whole new territory. you're in a whole new land with fairies, there's all sorts of creatures going on, and you're like, okay, I'm here. And because you're in a new place, it's just like you're rooting on the next level of life. So just picture the level that you were here is very condensed. This is the way I have to be, and the roots expanded, lifted, and now you're on like a next level of life. So everything's lighter up here. Everything's not as dense and I can't. Everything's lighter up here. So then, because it's very expansive, there's a lot more room in the mind and in the body and your ability to follow through. So if you are, in the beginning of your business, this applies, but it also applies if you're deep right in there, because you're always going to be roots release, next place, roots release. The only difference is your roots are going to be thicker, so it's going to be a lot more like, whoa, what are we doing? Because you've built such a stability in your roots, but your roots can move. We think like if we're rooted, we have to stay there forever, but that's not the case. It doesn't matter how deep you're in, you can uproot and place them somewhere else. So this like shift that I've made from just being Reiki to intuitive coach with the Reiki, it was like it felt like I was just pulling everything out of the ground, and like, is this the right thing? Am I killing the thing? I feel like I'm killing the thing, but I wasn't. I was just taking the roots out and placing it into a new space, a new home with more sun, more water. Everything's better here. So if you're feeling confused and afraid and I'm making these decisions but I don't know if this is gonna work out, you're actually in the perfect spot, because you're in the peak of that transition and everything's gonna start to get easy. And when things start to feel easy in the transition, that's when we actually get like more afraid, because you're like, it shouldn't be this easy, like, is this okay? Like we feel like when we're in the flow there's something wrong. So if you find like you're in the flow, just let it be. You're gonna have thoughts of like, this is wrong, but you have to just move through it. It's like part of our identity is wrapped around things have to be hard to get somewhere, but we have to remove that from the space, because what's the point of having that idea in there? That's not getting us anywhere fast. Yeah, so those are my thoughts on the things.